What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Reignited. Today I want to talk about the 5 key components to a successful recovery. These aren't in any particular order. I believe that they're all just important as the last, so take note of that. Alright, so the first one is your social network. Especially in early recovery, it is super important to, one, stop hanging around the people that you were drinking with or you were getting high with. I know there are times when you try and convince yourself that you want to help them too, and you want them to see how you're living, and you're just hoping to help them. And from my experience, they will always get you high before you get them sober, and you're just better off leaving them alone. There are times when maybe it's somebody that you've known a long time and they're a good friend of yours, and you can't just, or don't want to just cut them off. But those people still, you need to love them from afar. You need to take care of yourself first. And if they're true friends of yours, they're going to respect what you're doing and not give you a hard time about it. My buddy Bobby, who I've known since I was 3 years old, and we used to hang out all the time. At one point, we were drinking and using together, and I just knew that, he still drinks and he smokes his pot and he's doing fine, good for him. But for me, I can't, in early recovery, I couldn't be around that because just I wasn't strong enough yet. The temptation was still there. So I kept my distance. And as you get further into recovery, I would suggest at least have a year under your belt before you, maybe go hang out with that person for a little bit, but just keep it short. If they hopefully will respect your recovery, and if they are gonna drink, not do it in front of you, you might find that after you've had some clean time that it really doesn't bother you. It's all everybody's different, and you just gotta be honest with yourself about what you can handle, and yeah, just go from there. But the important part is being honest with yourself, and if you really want to do this thing right, then you need to know your boundaries and set them. And so keeping people away that are using is very important. But that's only one part of it. The second part of it, where I kind of screwed myself, was I stopped hanging around these people, but then I just found myself by myself all the time. And I'm doing positive things. It's not always a bad thing. But I didn't develop a sober support group. I didn't have anybody that was going through the same kind of thing and doing the same kind of things that I'm doing that could kind of help keep me in check on bad days. And so when things kind of fell apart, and I went through a breakup, and I was just going through a hard time, I just found myself in my apartment by myself in my head. And we all know how dangerous of a place that can be for anybody, but especially somebody that struggles with addiction. And I ended up reverting back to my old ways. So it's important to not only leave people behind, but to have a group of people that are going to hold you accountable, and be able to understand what you're going through, and you can just bounce thoughts off of them, and they're going to keep you in check. And so that's just very important. And I found that if you don't have anybody like that in your life, I would suggest going to a meeting. And I know it could be uncomfortable, but you just gotta force yourself to do it. And you go to a meeting, you raise your hand, and you say, "Hi, my name is Corey, I'm an alcoholic, and I am new here." And I promise you that after the meeting, a whole bunch of people are going to come up to you and introduce themselves, give you their phone number, and just offer support. And you may have to go to a couple different meetings to meet some people that you really connect with, but by the end of it, you'll have a whole lot of phone numbers and a lot of people that are just in your corner and willing to help you when you need the help. So that would be my suggestion if you do not have a support group right now. I've also found that like the recovery community on Facebook and stuff, there's a lot of groups that you can join, and just the recovery community online is also very good. You can do online meetings now. So if you're just still not comfortable like going into a meeting, there's so many options on how to meet some people that will be just a positive influence in your life. So it's just, you gotta want it and you gotta just make it happen. All right, so the second key component is have a plan. You're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have bad moments, and that's just inevitable. And you gotta have a plan in place for when you do have a bad day, so that as soon as you start feeling a certain way, it's non-negotiable. I do this, and it will keep you on track with your recovery. If you just kind of hang out in your head and like just sit in your head and dwell on whatever bad thing happened, like that's when thoughts are gonna start racing, and the idea of picking up a drink might come about. So, for example, I know that like if I'm having a bad day, I go for a run or I hit the gym. And 9 times out of 10, by the time my run or workout is over with, like I'm feeling a lot better, I got a positive mindset again, and then I go from there and I just continue on with my day, and I just do what I can to stay productive and keep focused on what it is I'm trying to accomplish at that time. And I also know that like if by the end of my workout, if I'm still just like really not doing well, I'll go to a meeting. And that actually hasn't happened in quite a long time. The workout usually does it for me. But I have the plan in place for when that does happen, I go to a meeting. And a meeting is just like the gym. You never leave there wishing you hadn't gone. Like something positive always comes from being in a meeting. And so it doesn't even have to be like one of those options. It could be anything that distracts you and that you enjoy doing. So like if you enjoy painting or drawing, like bust out the sketchbook and just tell you to spend an hour doing that, start a new project. A lot of people like to journal and just get their thoughts out on paper, and like that release is helpful for them. There's like prayer, there's meditation, there's so many options of things you can do to when your brain starts like racing and you're thinking about picking up again and reverting to your old ways. So just having a plan in place for when that happens will be a game changer for you. Alright, so the third component is going to be, find your passion or purpose. And for me, this was a big one. This was like the missing piece in my recovery for quite some time. And back when that relationship went south and everything fell apart, I think that if I had taken care of this and figured out like what I thought my purpose was in this world, that may not have ever happened. I'm grateful for the fact that I think that relapse forced me to take a look, like do a self-inventory and take a look at what I had going on and realize I need to figure that out. So, I guess that's a topic for another video, but some good came out of that relapse. But if I had already done this, that whole thing could have been avoided. But I know for a long time I was working in the kitchen. I knew that was not what I wanted to do with my life. It was just paying the bills right now. It was the quickest job I could find. But it didn't give me any kind of sense of accomplishment because I really didn't care about it. I didn't feel like it was an important job. I didn't feel like I was bringing anything to the world by doing it. It wasn't fulfilling for me at all. And I'm not down talking working in a kitchen because it's hard work, and if it's something you love doing, then like good for you, because that is cooks are very much underpaid. But so if you have if you go through a breakup, that's just an example that I can relate to. Or if just things in one way or the other seem to start falling apart, when you have a sense of purpose in life, it's kind of like that saying, just keep your eyes on the prize. Even if things are going bad, if you know you have this goal, this purpose, and something you're trying to accomplish that is greater than yourself, then you're just going to keep focused on that. You're not going to think about picking up. And I mean, the thought might cross your mind, but no, I'm going to keep my eyes on the prize. If I do that, I'm never going to get here, so that is not worth it anymore. It gives you just more of a sense of value. And that's not to say that you don't have value if you don't have a sense of purpose, but I know for me, it wasn't until I found what I wanted to do that I had a sense of satisfaction. So hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say, and I didn't offend anybody there. So yeah, just having that goal and that thing to strive for is so important. Alright, and the fifth and final component that I want to talk about is being cautious of your physical and mental health. Now I know there's a whole bunch of different levels to this. I know, I take my fitness routine to an extreme. I'm in the gym 6 days a week, and I'm trying to transform my body, and I'm taking creatine, and I'm eating a lot of protein, and I have my diet shaped to try and build muscle, and I'm really trying to make some changes that way. That's not necessary, but I think that even if it's just going for a walk or just doing something to get the blood flowing and to sweat a little bit, you just feel 100 times better. And I mean, I think that's a great way to start your day. It's a good way to when you start your day doing something that's not comfortable, it just sets you up for the rest of the day to just continue that pattern. So I think that's beneficial in a ton of ways. But so having some sort of fitness routine is just another thing to just focus on. And when you're focusing on this, you're not thinking about drinking or drugging. And I mean, you'll realize that's why my go-to when I'm having a bad day is to go for a run or go work out, because you do feel better afterwards. Just how it works. It's what happens. And I think your nutrition, you don't need to be on some crazy strict diet, but just eating healthier. You'll see that when you're eating healthier foods, you feel better. Just physically, you can think clear, you feel better all around. And it's hard to explain. You just know once you've experienced it. But I know, you just eating whole foods and just not eating greasy fried foods and stuff, you feel better. But then there's also supplements you can take. I have Strong Greens. It's just every morning with a glass of water, you put it in the water, stir it up, and I mean, I tried a couple different brands, and some of them didn't work as well as others, but Strong Greens, the BPM product, works wonders, and almost instantly you feel better. You feel more energetic, your bowel movements are more regular. Too much info, but it's crazy how big of a difference that makes. And so when you're just doing little things like that, it adds up, and you just you feel like a completely different person, and it's pretty incredible. Sorry. And the last thing I want to throw in here, it kind of just it applies to all of them. It just applies to life in general. You need to just live with intention behind everything you do, especially in early recovery. Early recovery is just crucial with everything you do because you haven't developed a new lifestyle yet. You are in the process of doing that, so it's going to take more work. But just have an intention behind everything you do. Like, make sure there's a reason why you're doing everything you do, because it's so easy to, like, without even knowing it, like, slip back into old patterns. And it's just important to, like, always be checking yourself, keeping an inventory. Like, why am I doing this? Is this productive for me? Is this gonna benefit my recovery? You need to be so self-aware, and it's hard work at first. And as you get further along in your recovery, it becomes more natural. And once you've also just developed this new lifestyle, like, you're doing the same thing, so it's not like you need to be analyzing everything you're doing because you already did that. But just living with intent. And I know, like, when you go to the gym, you want to, like, work out with intent. Like, don't just start randomly lifting weights. You, like, I want to grow my chest, so I'm going to do a variety of chest workouts. And it's just an example. But hopefully this all made sense. I know I probably could have went more in depth in some things and not so much in others. I really think that, like, if you're watching this because you've decided that you want to get sober and you're really trying to figure out, like, how you can do that, then, like, my suggestion to you would be to, like, get a pen and paper out and, like, write down a plan. Like, write everything down. When you put it on paper, it just helps bring it to life. And, like, just come up with a plan. Like, if you know you don't have a social network or, like, a sober support network, then, like, plan out ahead of time. All right, I'm going to do a meeting a day or 3 meetings a week, and figure out, like, fit them in your schedule. Figure out when you can go, look up what time the meetings are, and plan it. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to try and hit 3 meetings this week, and then before you know it, the week goes by and you didn't go to a meeting. And it's just important to plan everything. Planning a time where you can work out or go for a run or go for a walk or jump rope or whatever it is that you're going to want to do to just have some sort of, like, healthy fitness routine. And if you're eating fast food all the time, or, like, just crummy food, like, just be conscious of that and do your best to, like, cook at home and, like, use the oven instead of a frying stuff. And just there's so many little things you can do to just tweak what you're already doing and make it better. And I know some of these just by themselves might sound stupid, but, like, when you are as a whole doing all of these things together, like, it just makes a huge difference in your life. And I promise you, if you can just commit to give me a month, just try living like this for a month and tell me your life hasn't changed. And so I didn't really say it on here, but this is something they teach you in like rehab. Like, wake up early, make your bed in the morning. Like, I know there's a book, The Power of Tidying Up. Like, just, I know in my addiction, like, I'd storm through looking for old bags or old bottles, and, like, I'd be living in it looked like a tornado went through my place, and I wouldn't even care because I'm just doing this, I'm just drinking. And, like, so when you get clean, you want to live clean, you want to be organized, and it just, like, another little thing that'll just give you a sense of, like, alright, everything's gonna be okay. But yeah, I guess that's it for this video, you guys. Hopefully you got something valuable out of it. If you did, drop a like or a comment. Maybe tell me a little bit about if you have some experience with any of these things. If you have any questions about any of these things, I'm really trying to put myself out there and get on YouTube and reach as many people as I can. And I want my brand reignited to be recognized, and I want to change the world. And so anything you guys can do, like, comment, share, all that stuff that they always say at the end of videos, like, will be helpful for me, and I would really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.